To unbox and assemble your studio reformer, first you'll have the Allen wrench included in the packaging, and then optional gloves and a blade to safely open your packages. Hey, I'm Christine, and today I'm in the BB garage to go through the unboxing and assembly of your studio reformer. So let's get started. A couple things to note firsthand. Number one, we can tell this is a big box. So little old me is going to assemble this, and you're going to do it with me. First thing, I want to make sure that with the cardboard, there's also staples involved in the security of the box, so I want to have some gloves. It's not required, but I'm just going to protect my hands from any possible paper cuts. So with that first, looking around the base, and just on the outside, it is secured with staples. So I'm going to go around the edges and start to pull one corner, and it comes out pretty easily. As I do that, I'm coming all the way around to this edge to do the same. All right, now one flap is open, but there are staples on the end as well. So let's go around this side. I'm gonna go on this corner. Now, if any of the staples didn't come off with that outer flap, that's what my pliers may be for. Come around this side. All right, so now we see here, I'm pulling this end. Okay. I'm gonna do the same on the other end. So this is one big lid over the top. And I'm basically taking the whole top off. There we go. Pull this out. You'll notice it's kind of like a gift box. Corners are folded in. Okay. Now once I have that piece, taking this off completely, and now we can see the inner box with all of the packaging around the reformer itself. So before I go any further, I want to make sure all the staples that were involved in that outer box are not. So I have a couple here, and what I may do, let me see if when I pull this a little bit, those end up coming off. I have a bit of tape with my knife here. I'm just going to gently cut that tape. Okay, good. So now as I pull this edge, those staples holding this piece of cardboard cushion stayed on the outer side. So I wanted to make sure that happens. As I unfold this, I don't want those staples anywhere near the reformer. Okay. It's best to take your time. There's a lot of pieces involved. No rush. There we go. Oh, I didn't cut into all that tape. There we go. Okay. So I have this end open. Now these staples are still sticking out here. So what I really want to do is make sure that they don't affect the reformer at all. Now I can see that the reformer frame is actually inverted in the box. And with all the packaging on top, I'm going to go ahead and start to take these things out before I try to move the actual frame of the reformer. So I've got lots of goodies here. I want to make sure that I take pieces out one at a time. This is just cardboard filler, right? Cushion. Okay. The important thing you want to make sure you pay attention to is with any box inside of this packaging, you check. You check to see that it's not housing some piece of your reformer, right? Can't ever assume that it is in fact an empty box. Okay, that's still attached, so I'm going to take this box out now because this clearly is filled with goodies. It's heavy. I'm just going to set it off to the side. We'll deal with the big stuff first. This is your sitting box, beautifully labeled. Okay. Taking some of the cardboard out. But I think I'm going to leave some in because it looks like it's actually propping up the frame off of the cardboard main box. This filler, also filler. Okay, now I have the carriage that's resting on top of the frame right now. So what I am going to do is lift that and set that carefully off to the side around nothing that could possibly damage the upholstery. So there is a lip on either side of that carriage. I'm holding it by that lip. I'm going to carefully set it down. And you know what? The wheels on this side, I'm going to avoid the wall with that. So I'm actually going to turn this around, hold on to the headrest, and just carefully rest that against the wall. Safest way for the equipment and your surroundings. Okay, now it's inverted. The legs are facing up. So the easiest way that I myself could unbox this into an upright position would be to get rid of the cardboard and then tip it forward. So now you can see on this side, there's still staples involved. So now I'm going to open up that side of the box. Okay, we have some foam on the standing platform end to protect it. Okay, I can see now that after this flap was open, there's still staples on that outer box. So there's a few options that I could do depending on if I'm by myself or if I have a friend with me. By myself, I could either take those staples out with some pliers, which I do have handy, or I could try to cover those staples with some of this other cardboard that doesn't have staples in it, like these cushion portions. And that's the route I'm going to take today. But again, you could take the staples out. If you're by yourself, you do that, and you could then roll the reformer to an upright position. If you have a friend, this would be pretty simple. You would lift it together and rotate it to a vertical position or upright position, okay? So again, for today, I'm going to slide these pieces of cardboard, this thicker cushion cardboard, and I even have some extra pieces here that I can lay flat over those staples. Grab this one. Protecting this as much as possible. And what I will do next, instead of rolling it that way, I'm actually going to pull it slightly towards me. I'm going to lift one side and let that bottom edge slide towards me because this whole middle section of cardboard doesn't have any staples on it. All right, that's my plan. Let's see how it goes. So I've got the rails here. I could also grab all the way underneath the frame. Not so bad. I'm staying away from staples. Success. I'm actually going to bring this a little bit more towards me. I'm covering up some staples on this side now, just to be safe. Sliding it. Good. Good. Okay, now I'm going to tip it here. And now I'm on that cardboard piece, which is okay. I'm just going to slide. I see I have a staple here. I'm going to slide here, pick up one end, pick up the other end, and here we are. Okay. So now we have it upright on the cardboard, no staples directly around it. Let's clean this area up a bit and start to unbox the rest of the pieces. Okay, let's grab our carriage. So you can see there is some tape here securing the foot bar and protecting the standing platform. So I'll take that off before I do the carriage actually. Let me grab my knife. Carefully. A little bit of plastic there. A little bit here. Oh, good. That just comes right off. Easy. Okay. I'm going to tip the foot bar out of the frame, and then I'm going to bring the carriage around. Now, as I go to set the carriage in the frame, I want to make sure the headrest is going towards where the risers go. So as I pick it up, I'm going to hold it with the bottom end going towards the foot bar, bringing it right inside the frame. And now my fingers were just about to get smashed, so I need to change my grip. I'm going to grab here by the headrest as I lay it down like a glove. Okay. What I would like to do is use this elevated surface to unbox some of these other pieces, but to protect that carriage, I'm going to set this piece of cardboard that was originally on it, make sure that's safe, and let's open this gift. Okay. Easy. Sometimes I just start one end and then it comes right up, just like that. I have a feeling these are shoulder blocks. Let me see. I'm going to set these up here really gently because it's paper and tape. I don't want to cut all the way through. Okay. Shoulder rests. I'm going to set these down. Now we have ropes and handles, pulleys, a stopper and an Allen wrench, springs for the reformer carriage, foot strap, the pegs that go on the shoulder rests, and loops. Now, I, of course, have the very important information envelope. So each reformer or each piece of equipment has an envelope like this with a set of instructions. I'm just going to go through the steps with you today, but you're welcome to check the references here. Okay. So let's bring these pieces up. Ropes, shoulder rests, pulleys. Okay, I'm going to leave the springs down there. So as we kind of take these things out, we can all look together. My knife. We can all look together and go through these steps. Okay. Beautiful shoulder rests. Off to the side. Again, away from any staples. I'm going to save this for later, the stopper block, but I do need my Allen wrench. Okay. Now, I think it is time to assemble our carriage. So I'm taking the cardboard off. Now here we have a nice little cover for the headrest that has a little prize on it. So keep that. Has a coupon for 10% off Balance Body Clean. Keep that handy. It can go with your green envelope. Okay. Now, shoulder rests. You will notice that the bolts are there, but the knobs are not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide one of these in. I have my knobs here. At this point, I'm going to take the gloves off. I don't think I need them. Okay. Now I'm going to take that knob, and tighten it. Now right there, that made it nice and snug. I can loosen it some and it comes out. That's it, that's ready to go. We'll do the same on the other side. Okay, I'm noticing something. I don't see the riser, so I'm going to check the sitting box package to see what else is in there. Aha! I found them. Okay. We have our risers and we have our spring bar for the springs. So we'll set this here. That will go in with the springs in a moment. I'm leaving the sitting box off to the side. We'll handle that in a moment. Okay, time to get our risers on. Taking them out of their sleeve. Just rest those there on the edge of the reformer. Okay. And I have the pulleys. They will come in a moment, but I do need my hardware. So I have 2 sets of screws I'm taking out. I have my Allen wrench. Okay. Everything's set there that I need for the moment. Now you'll see with the risers, we have 2 slightly different sides. One side has these lines, these horizontal lines, and one just has that vertical adjustment. And there's 2 holes. Now there is a flatter side to these and there's a rounded side. The flat side goes against the reformer. So I want to make sure that the adjustment lines are up above the frame. And I have the bolts here. Now you'll notice on the inside of the frame there are already pilot ends for those screws. So bolts are going to come from the outside of the riser and go into the frame. I'm just going to start that a little bit before I get the Allen wrench, holding that in place. Okay. All right, risers are in place. Now let's get our pulleys. So we have the adjustment knobs attached to the pulleys and there's a spring in between. There's also a couple of washers. So I'm going to take the knob off first because that has to go, because this has to go through the riser. So I'm taking one of the washers off. I'm going to thread this through. Now let's put this just for consistency's sake right now. We'll put it at the very top of the riser. I take the other washer. I thread that on, and then I'm going to tighten the knob. Good. Now, I didn't line it up perfectly, so let's do a little better, Christine. There we go. because there's a plastic holder for the spring, there's the metal washer on either side. So just making sure that they actually line up really well to protect all hardware and the wood. Same thing on the other side. Okay, we have the risers in place, we have the pulleys in place. I'm going to keep my Allen wrench handy. Now, while I'm at this end of the reformer, I'm going to come back to the stopper, or range limiter, it is often called. And I'm going to set this in one V1 hole, the top right corner for my facing. If I'm facing the risers, top right corner, it sits there, that's its home, but the holes along the metal rails are where you can limit the range for certain exercises in the Pilates repertoire. So for a storage position, the top right corner. Okay, on to the ropes. Now we also have neoprene handles in addition to the cotton loops, but let's assemble our ropes first. Going to take one at a time. Threading it through the pulley. And then into first the metal loop and then through the cleats, then the second metal loop, and then down through that hole in the reformer carriage. So now I've got it threaded. I'll do the other side as well. And our cotton loops. Now that we have the carriage down, let's put the springs onto the carriage before we move on. So you could either lay on your back and on a clean floor, of course, no staples involved, and put the springs into the carriage that way. Or for today, I'm actually going to flip the carriage over across the frame and show you how to put them on that way. So I'm going to lift this up. And just as I did earlier, I'm going to hold from the sides, but now notice the wheels are towards me because I'm going to lay it down across the frame. And you will see the hooks where the springs go. So let's get our springs. Now we have 3 red, a blue, and a green. I'm going to start with one of the red springs. On the end, I hook it into the eye bolt and then I thread it under, and then I alternate with either the blue or the green. Another red, hook that under, then the blue or the green, whichever one you didn't start with, and the final red. Okay. I have the springs attached. Now, I want to lay this back down in the frame. So what I will do, I'm going to pick it back up. Now the springs may shift a little bit, that's okay. I'm going to lay this in the frame. Then I'm going to roll it to the bottom. Now I want to take a look at the springs to see if they shifted or if any came unhooked, just in case, but they all are in place. So now I'll attach the springs to the spring bar. Now that's all set, squared away, and we can move on. Okay, let's take a look around and see what else we have. We still have our neoprene handles. I'm actually going to set these off to the side just so they don't get mixed up in all of the boxes. And then we have a foot strap. I'm going to get to that in a moment. So first, I want to go through really briefly how to adjust your ropes and your straps. So we have all the springs connected to the spring bar, number one. And then we take the loops, the cotton loops, put them around the shoulder rests. Now I like to have them in the divot of the shoulder rests, and then I'm going to pull the rope. The key thing is that you pull the rope as opposed to manipulating the cleats. You want that rope to go all the way through the cleats without being disrupted. Now notice there's just a little twist. I'm just going to rotate that pulley. Maybe one more. Done. Okay, now this one side tight, other side, same thing. I'm pulling the rope through the cleats, and I was pulling from underneath this metal loop. Tighten it up. Good. Take these, check, and they're even, and then set them on the pegs. So now the ropes are adjusted. Let's come down to the bottom of the frame with our foot strap. Now you'll notice beyond the spring bar, there's this metal piece here that goes for your jump board and your extended standing platform. We have these bolts on the side, and that is where the foot strap gets attached. So I'm going to open up this side. And then I thread it through, tighten it, thread it through, and tighten. Foot strap for your short box work. And then you just set it down below that metal bracket. Now we can look at our foot bar, taking the upholstered piece up, cushion piece up, and then I'm going to set the foot bar. There's multiple settings. I just want to make sure that all the hinges, everything feels good. I can set this down in whatever orientation I need for certain exercises. So, the sitting box. Now, this is perfectly fit into that box. So now take it out. There is one piece of information here. Safety notes. Please take time to read. And here we are. Sitting box, upholstered, standard. I think that does it for the Studio Reformer unboxing and assembly. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope it was helpful. Thanks for joining me.